Hi folks, I'm Brendan Kennedy, and I'm Director of Instruction at the Legacy Club at Aliquot Lakes in Longwood, Florida. And welcome to KennedyGolf.com, where our goal is to help students of every level improve their game and increase their enjoyment. So come on in, stay as long as you like. Your feedback's always welcome, and I look forward to helping you with your game. Thanks a lot. Hi folks, Brendan Kennedy here. Today's segment I'd like to go over just the basic chipping motion. And when we're chipping, we're generally not trying to get the ball up in the air very high. Save that for the more lofted shots with, say, your lob wedge or a pitch from further back, or a situation where you've got a lot of rough to carry over. We need a higher loft. In this instance, we are not trying to hit the ball high. We're trying to bring the ball in on a low to medium trajectory, get the ball on the green fairly quickly and running the rest of the way. Now I'm going to go over the basic technique. You have the option, using this same technique, to try different clubs using this technique, and just take notice of how the ball responds differently. How this same shot with a 56 degree, the ball runs out less than it would for, say, an 8-iron, a 9-iron, or 7-iron. Okay, so these are basically low running, bump and run shots. Okay, so if we go over the setup for this shot, I'm generally going to play the ball in the middle or back portion of my stance. Now in this case I'm using a 56 degree lofted sand wedge, so I'm going to play it maybe a little further back than I would for, say, a 9-iron or an 8-iron. I am going to start off with the club face square, or facing where I want the ball to go, and I'm going to lean the handle a little bit forward. Now my weight is to the left, and I want to keep it there throughout the stroke. Now a lot of times we'll be instructed to exaggerate this angle, bring the club back and really forward lean the shaft. Now for you flippers out there who have a tendency to stop moving forward with the handle and throw the club head, that might be a good basic procedure. Okay, so that would be option number one. I'll demonstrate that. Ball back, weight left, handle forward. Now basically I want to make the sweet spot of this club ascend and descend, being led somewhat by the handle into the ball in a fairly straight line. So this is not a case where we want the club moving inside. Although it can arc in a little bit, I don't recommend that generally. Okay, so this would be the exaggerated option for people that have a tendency to do this prior to impact. That would be to exaggeratedly lean the shaft forward, and I'm going to keep this relationship through impact. So basically whatever relationship you start off with between the butt of the club to the leading edge, you want to retain through impact. So that's what this will look a little exaggerated, but I'm going to move it up and down in a straight line, keeping my weight forward. I'm going to let my body just gently pivot or turn through as I come through it. Okay? So that actually went in the hole. So that's a pretty good option. However, there's another option, and it's not that different. Certainly not different from the standpoint that I'm setting up the same. I've got the handle leaning forward. I'm taking the loft by doing so down, de-lofting the club. But this time I'm going to do everything the same, only I'm going to keep my arms very soft. Like all shots around the green, you want to feel the weight of the club head. So when we're too rigid with straight arms and firm wrists, we can't feel that. It becomes very wooden. We want to have some feel. This may be considered more of an advanced technique for the better player, but it's a technique that can be used by all. Okay, so I've got my elbows almost spread apart. I'm not going to be doing this in full shots, let me assure you. I hope not. But I'm going to again bring the club up, down in a straight line. I am going to be leading with the handle, but instead of exaggeratedly extending this, I'm just going to let my arms fold up. My elbows are actually going to stay pretty much on my body. So that looks something like this. So I didn't let the club head pass my left hand, but it also wasn't that exaggerated forward leaning shaft. And the reason that I'm doing this is it gives me a little better feel. I can use the bounce condition on the club a little bit more, which is great off of certain lies. Let me hit that again. Soft arms, weight left, ball middle to back. Club's going to ascend and descend in a straight line, basically, and I'm going to let my body pivot through, keeping this slightly ahead of that, and soft arms. So there's not a lot of extension in that shot, but there can be, again, for those of you out there that might get a little phobic over these and try to help it. See, there was no pivot. I threw the club head immediately. So for those people, you might exaggerate the shaft lean all the way through the stroke. Then once you get to where you're hitting those solidly and on line, you could, as an option, strive for a similar feeling, but not so wooden, not so exaggerated. Soft arms. From down the line, all of that looks like this. Club's going to ascend as if coming up a ramp. The sweet spot's moving in a straight line up and down and through. And again, my arms, my elbows stayed fairly close to my body as I pivoted through. So give those a try. Try different clubs. Have some fun with it. Feel free to email me or call me at 321-217-5899. Be happy to answer any questions you have on this technique or any others. Thanks a lot for stopping.